Alright, let's wrap up Disney animated films ranking with the modern ones, which I want to call it second renaissance, but that would be weird, so I'll just call it the modern Disney films, from The Princess and the Frog up until Strange World, though Strange World will have its lead up video after this video. This will be the last part of the rank, so let's begin. The Princess and the Frog. Okay, a big comeback to the fairy tales and magical aspect for Disney films. The Princess and the Frog didn't disappoint me at all. While I didn't watch it back when it came out, I finally got a chance to watch it 3 years after. And yeah, it was pretty good. Plus, it was nice to make a comeback of 2D animation after 5 years ago. So yeah, the animation is great. The characters are great. It's been a while since Disney had great characters. Tiana, Prince Naveen, Dr. Facilier, Louis, Ray, Mama Odie, even Lottie. I'm not even kidding. Lottie is freaking hilarious. Every time she's on screen, she cracks me up. The songs are pretty catchy, though not as high as some of the others. They are pretty good. So yeah, Princess and the Frog is definitely solid, right? Well, no, it's not close. The only problem with the movie, and that is the story. It's complicated. Yeah, I don't know if people would follow the story in this movie, but they can like the characters and the songs and see what's going on. But yeah, it's a loophole story. Either way, it's a pretty good one. I'm gonna put this movie in the high good category. A definite comeback. Tangled. Now, what I remember I said that Princess and the Frog has a complicated story. Well, in Tangled, this has a great story and a great setup. Besides that, I do like the characters, though not as super memorable as Princess and the Frog. I like Rapunzel and Eugene, or Flynn Rider, depending on what you call him. The horse Maximus is freaking great. He's like Javert from Les Mis. I never suspect this horse to be that good. Plus, I do like the scene where Rapunzel's parents are teary-eyed with no dialogue. Also, Tangled is almost close to Princess and the Frog standards. I had a good time watching it, which I did watch it the same year just like Princess and the Frog. Plus, Tangled made more money than Princess and the Frog. Well, it's because it was advertised more and had 3D animation. So yeah, a good follow-up Disney movie. I'm gonna put this one in the good category, but right next to Princess and the Frog. Winnie the Pooh. Yep, another Winnie the Pooh movie. This one's about the same as The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So let's get to the highlights. I like the characters, of course. The stories are told very well, but we'll get to the problem. The animation is good, but not great. But the best part of the movie is the songs. Yeah, I couldn't believe these songs are actually really good. Unfortunately, the Sherman Brothers didn't do the songs. It was actually the people that worked on Avenue Q and Book of Mormon. Still, the songs were the best part. As for criticisms, there's only 2 stories, and that's it. It would have been nice to add more, but I'm fine, and like I said, it's told very well. And the animation, while good, is a little too good. I can understand it was trying to make it sketchy, but it was only less. And as of now, Winnie the Pooh is the last Disney film to be in 2D style animation. Oh well, maybe 2D will make a return. All in all, Winnie the Pooh is good, not great. So I'm gonna put Winnie the Pooh in the good category, but lower than The Many Adventures because The Many Adventures is told better. Wreck-It Ralph. Now, this one is gonna be a personal preference, but this is one of my favorite Disney animated films. Yeah, this movie. When this movie got announced, I got really excited. Why? Because it has video games, and I'm a lover of video games. It's like the movie is the equivalent of Roger Rabbit, but with video games. Anyways, let's talk about this movie. Ralph is a pretty likable character. That's a Donkey Kong style character. Then you got Vanellope, Fix-It Felix, the commander from Hero's Duty, and even King Candy. The characters are pretty good, and even the voice acting. I know people say Sarah Silverman sounds too old voicing Vanellope, but I disagree. She did a good job voicing her. John C. Reilly is great as Ralph. Besides the characters and the voice acting, I like the video games that's totally embracing the idea of both the retro games and the newer games. It's got great writing and satire of the movie. The worlds that Ralph goes are actually creative. While there's only 2, they're actually really good. Sugar Rush gives me Mario Kart vibes. So yeah, that's everything I liked in the movie. Anything nitpick in the movie? Well, I would have liked to see more video game characters, but it's more on Ralph and Vanellope with their relationship. I look like they did that. The climax is a bit of run-of-the-mill. At first it was great, but after seeing it again with the mountain scene, it's not bad. I've seen it. So yeah, those are the only small gripes. Wreck-It Ralph is one of my personal favorites, which means I gotta place it high. I know some people are gonna be triggered by this. Frozen. Besides Beauty and the Beast, this movie is a great one by Disney. I love this one more than Princess and the Frog and Tangled. Yes, I will admit this movie has been all over the place and overplayed since it came out back in 2013. But man, it's still freaking great. Where do I begin? I like how the movie breaks the cliches where it feels more natural and not make it too obvious. So besides the fresh new take, everything in the movie is great. The characters are so likable. Elsa, Anna, Kristoff, and even Olaf. Yeah, say what you want about him before I get to the sequel. Olaf had some good laughs. The music, what can I say? They're all really good. Say all you want about the songs to me, I can't help it. Yes, I know the song has been over the place, but I still need something to listen to. It's called an earworm, guys. Plus, this film is gorgeous. The way they shot snow and winter, it looks nicer than realistic winter going on. The only minor problem with the movie is the opening where the backstory is pretty rushed. But it didn't destroy the movie, and you need it because the movie is a fairy tale aspect. All in all, this is absolutely one of my favorites. So, I'm placing it in the amazing category. Probably won't top Beauty and the Beast, and yes, I'm keeping on the ranked spot. Big Hero 6. As of now, I've seen this movie twice. When I watched it for the first time, it was good, not as great as some of the other modern Disney animated films. After on my rewatch, my opinions hasn't changed. I feel like this movie got really hyped. For me, I was enjoying it from beginning to end fine. Much like Wreck-It Ralph, it was good for Disney to try something different. This time, it's superhero comic book. Yeah, because Marvel and DC are taking over. Anyways, the good stuff in Big Hero 6 are the fighting, the characters, the visuals, and even the location. Yeah, there's too many to stand out. Though I do like the relationship between Hero and Baymax, so at least I'll give it that. The only main problem with the movie, and I'm gonna sound crazy, is that it was pretty predictable. Plus, it has a surprise villain. Ugh. Yeah, that destroyed the movie big time. So yeah, besides that, I did enjoy it despite the surprise villain issue. It's not my favorite out of the Disney modern films. I'll place it in the good category. Zootopia. This movie changed my opinions after I watched it the second time. The first time I watched it 5 years ago, I thought it was pretty good and had more thought-provoking commentary, and it was going to be in my top 10 favorite Disney films. But the more I watched it, the more it got less commentary, even though it is there. Zootopia is more about prejudice, which I can understand the subject that's been there since. But still, it's a pretty good movie. It's really creative with the layout of the city and funny jokes and clever analogy. Still, this movie is more themed, and I like the movie to this day. Definitely putting it in the great category. Moana. Yeah, it came out the same year as Zootopia, but hey, it's on the same level as Zootopia. My opinions of Moana hasn't changed since I watched it for the first time. I like how the movie takes place in a warm summer environment instead of fairy tale like Tangled or winter environment in Frozen. So here are my positives. The animation is phenomenal, like it's almost to Finding Nemo standards in terms of water in 3D. The environment looks beautiful, the creatures and the villain look amazing. The characters are likable, and the songs are pretty hummable, not gonna lie. So yeah, those are the good stuff in Moana. Now for the criticisms, and that is some of the cliches. Yes, it doesn't have Disney cliches the same way Tangled and Frozen had, but the cliches in Moana I'm not a fan of. Plus, the the comedy is okay. I remember watching and saying, that was good, but it could have been funny. At least with Zootopia, it was funny, but Moana had okay humor. So yeah, Moana is pretty good. I would like to see the movie be a lot better. However, people that watched it really liked this movie. So now to the ranking. I'll put Moana in the good category, but lower than Tangled. Ralph Breaks the Internet. When this got announced, I got really excited. Wreck-It Ralph sequel with internet in it, I am so ready. After watching it twice, the movie is alright. Yeah, this movie was a big missed opportunity. The biggest problem is when Vanellope chooses to belong in the right place. Wait, hold up. I thought Sugar Rush was the place she'd rather be, but she decides to be in a different game? Well, I like the idea of a character to move on. It feels like that was pointless. As for the internet, while I like the idea, it doesn't seem inspiring. And that's weird for me to say because I love computers and even social media. And in the movie, they say YouTube exists. While cool to see, you could have put it to Disney. Funny enough, I like when Vanellope interacts with the Disney princess. That was pretty good. And like Moana, the humor is okay. Like I said, I really wanted to like this movie, and it is okay. It could have been great. And while critics and audiences liked it, I almost liked it, particularly the idea, but just didn't have enough as I thought. I'll place it in the high okay category. Can't place it in the good category. Frozen 2. This movie is alright. But out of one of these 12 movies, this is the weaker of the recent Disney animated films. And I was so ready for a Frozen sequel since I loved the first one. But like Ralph Breaks the Internet, this one has so many problems. Again, it has a good idea, but it was executed not well enough. The climax doesn't have much action, which that's a disappointment. As for the characters, besides Elsa, which I'll get to her, Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf were a huge downgrade. Yes, I did find Olaf annoying in this one. The scene where Olaf tells the tribes and the old guards about what happened during the first Frozen movie, which did he really have to describe that? Plus, Kristoff sings 80s ballet song. What? Plus, his character is to propose a marriage to Anna, and that's it. Anna is supportive than being one of the mains. So yeah, all three had a huge downgrade compared to the first movie. Also, this movie feels very rushed. In the first movie, I thought it had good pacing. This one didn't have enough pace. Now, the highlight in the movie is the stuff with Elsa. Both her character and her journey were pretty good. Plus, the songs with Elsa and the animation were pretty good, though nowhere near as the first Frozen. So yeah, the first one is way better, and Frozen 2 is passable. Not as strong as the first one, and with Frozen 3 coming up, it still needs to be good for once. I'm placing Frozen 2 in the okay category. Raya and the Last Dragon. Man, this movie is so good. I wanted to love it and put it on my top 10 favorite Disney animated films. However, it's not close. So let's get to the good stuff. The story is very good, and the characters are pretty good. I'm so glad Namaari is not a surprise villain. She's the antagonist of the movie without being a bad guy. Also, this movie gave me Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes because of the mythology. Yeah, this movie should have been my favorite, dang it. Now, the problem are only minor. I would like to see an epic fight and great payoff, but it didn't. You could have tweaked it more. But either way, it's still good, better than the last two, and it is a good step for Disney. I know the movie came out in early 2021 during the pandemic, but hey, at least you got this to watch. I'm gonna place Raya in the great category, but lower. Encanto. The last one to wrap up every Disney animated films rank. Encanto is really good. In fact, it's actually one of the best Disney animated films. Yes, even more than Raya, Moana, and so forth. But come on, Encanto got everything else right. The animation looks spectacular and the setting is amazing. There's so much color and movement. Thankfully, it knows how to keep it slow and quiet. The music is so catchy, particularly the song We Don't Talk About Bruno. The songs were made by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he did a great job making the songs. Also, this movie has great characters and great situations. This movie has no villain, which is really refreshing. I'm glad there's none. It's about the Madrigal family, trying to learn to be a stronger family, and they only use the powers for their community. As for nitpicks, I would like to see more focus, particularly the grandmother during the third act, but other than that, the movie is pretty solid. So, where would I rank Encanto? Probably in the great category, and it is in my top 10 animated Disney films. And there, I finished up the ranking videos. It took so long to complete everything. I love doing rankings, and I can't wait to do more ranking like this. Thank you all for watching for ranking every Disney animated films list. Also, my review of Strange World is coming after this, which that will be my next video. I will see you all for the next video.